The year was 3325, and Earth was not the quiet, peaceful planet it once was. Cities floated above the ground on anti-gravity platforms, ships zipped through low orbit like silver arrows, and humans had begun spreading into space. But for all their progress, humanity had never faced the creatures that lurked beyond the stars. Dr. Lyra Kane sat in her lab, surrounded by glowing monitors and humming machinery. She was young, but already one of Earth's brightest minds in communication technology. Her fingers danced across holographic keys as she worked on the quantum signal beacon, a device designed to reach across the galaxy in ways no ordinary radio could. Tonight, she was alone, the rest of her team having left hours ago. The lab was quiet, too quiet. And then the monitors flickered. At first, Lyra thought it was a simple system glitch. But then a strange signal appeared on the main display. The code was unlike anything she had ever seen. Broken patterns, shifting frequencies, almost like the message was alive. Her heart raced. "This isn't normal," she whispered to herself. Lyra started decoding the signal. Hours passed, but she was relentless. Piece by piece, the strange symbols began to form words. And then she understood the message. "They're coming for you." Lyra's blood ran cold. She leaned back in her chair, eyes wide. She muttered, shaking. Her mind immediately jumped to the stories she had heard as a child, stories of alien hunters, assassins from distant galaxies. None had ever made it to Earth, or at least none had survived to tell the tale. And yet, here was a warning sent directly to her. She didn't scream. She didn't panic. Humans, she thought, were clever. We always find a way. Still, her hands trembled slightly as she tapped her communicator. "Team," she said, keeping her voice steady, "come back to the lab. I need everyone here now." Within minutes, her team arrived. Scientists and engineers rushed in, their eyes wide at the tension in Lyra's voice. She projected the message onto the central display, showing the flickering, cryptic symbols. "It's not a joke," Lyra said. "The Shadow Legion, they're coming for us." One of her senior engineers, a man named Tarek, frowned. "The Shadow Legion? That's just a legend," he said. "No human has ever survived their attacks. Why would they?" Lyra cut him off. "Because of the beacon," she said. "It can reach beyond the galaxy. They've seen what humans are capable of. They want to stop us before we get stronger." A tense silence filled the room. Then another team member, Juna, whispered, "If they're coming, there's no way we can fight them. They'll kill everyone before we even react." Lyra shook her head. "No," she said firmly. "Humans don't give up. They underestimate us because they don't understand us. We survive because we think, because we adapt. We find a way." Just then, an alert flashed on her console. The Defense Council of Earth had intercepted signals from deep space. The Shadow Legion was on the move, traveling through hyperspace at incredible speeds. Their fleet was small but lethal, faster and more advanced than anything humans had ever built. Lyra's team looked at her, fear and awe in their eyes. "We have, 5 days?" Juna asked, voice trembling. "Maybe less," Lyra answered. "We need to act now." A communication line from Earth's command center buzzed to life. The voice of General Kor, the head of Earth's defense, was calm but firm. "Dr. Kane, we have seen the signals. We are aware of the threat. Humanity will not bow to fear." Lyra nodded. "Sir, I have a plan, but we need full access to the beacon and all resources immediately." General Kor's voice hardened. "Do what you must. And send them this message. Try harder." The words echoed in the lab, simple but defiant. It was more than a warning. It was a challenge. Lyra looked around at her team. "They think we are weak," she said. "They don't know humans. They think this is a game. But we have brains, strategy, and courage. That's our strength. And we're going to use it." Over the next hours, the lab transformed into a war room. The team worked tirelessly, analyzing the alien signals, predicting their hyperspace trajectory, and improving the quantum signal beacon's capabilities. Every member of the team knew that failure was not an option. Outside the lab, The city continued its nightly rhythm, unaware of the storm approaching from the stars. Ships glimmered in low orbit, unaware that the Shadow Legion was already a day away from reaching Earth's outer defenses. Lyra stayed at the console, eyes fixed on the monitors. Every code she cracked, every calculation she made brought her closer to understanding the aliens, and maybe, just maybe, turning the tables. Her fingers flew over the holographic keys as she muttered to herself, "They are coming for me, but they will regret it." As dawn broke, the first alerts came in, unidentified ships entering the outer solar system. The Shadow Legion had arrived. They were fast, silent, and deadly. And yet, Earth was ready to reply, ready to stand, ready to fight in a way the galaxy had never seen. Lyra took a deep breath. This was only the beginning. The warning had been clear. The assassins were coming. But humanity's response was simple, direct, and terrifying. Try harder. The lab lights flickered as Lyra continued her work, the hum of the quantum signal beacon rising in intensity. Outside, the stars seemed brighter than ever, witnesses to the start of a battle that would mark humanity's place in the galaxy forever. And somewhere in the void of space, the Shadow Legion slowed, puzzled by the audacity of the message. Earth was not afraid. Humans never were. The outer edge of Earth's orbit was quiet at first, almost peaceful. Space stations floated silently, their lights blinking like distant stars. But beneath the calm, the humans' nerves were stretched thin. Everyone knew that the Shadow Legion was approaching. Dr. Lyra Kane and her team had spent the last few hours enhancing the quantum signal beacon. The device could send powerful signals that interfered with alien sensors, giving humans a small edge. Still, even Lyra knew it was not enough. The Shadow Legion had never failed in their missions. The first strike came without warning. Alarms blared across Earth's orbital defense station. Red lights flashed. Ships scrambled to intercept incoming contacts. Lyra and her team rushed to the observation deck. Through the reinforced glass, she saw them, sleek, black ships that seemed to swallow light, moving faster than anything humans had ever built. They glided toward Earth like predators closing in on prey. "They're here," Lyra whispered. Tarek, her senior engineer, clenched his fists. "There's no way we can fight them head-on. Our weapons can't touch them." Lyra's mind raced. "We don't fight the way they expect. We use the beacon." The first alien ship shot a warning pulse across the station's shields. Energy arcs crackled, and the hum of the facility surged as emergency systems kicked in. Humans had prepared for a variety of attacks, but this was different. The Shadow Legion did not just attack. They studied, calculated, and anticipated every move. Juna, Lyra's assistant, pointed at the holographic map. "They're heading straight for the research outpost. If they destroy it, we lose the beacon. We lose everything." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Then we move fast. Everyone suit up. We're taking the shuttle." Within minutes, Lyra and a small team were aboard a sleek shuttle, armed with only experimental pulse guns and the data drive containing the beacon's schematics. The shuttle lifted off, dodging incoming energy pulses. The battle above Earth's orbit had begun. As they approached the outpost, the first alien ship appeared ahead. Its black surface gleamed as it fired a precision beam at the facility. Explosions rocked the structure, sending debris into orbit. The humans inside scrambled for cover. Lyra's hands moved rapidly over the console, activating the quantum signal beacon. The device emitted a pulsing wave of energy that distorted the alien ship's sensors. The ship wobbled slightly, unsure of the shuttle's exact position. "They can't see us clearly," Lyra shouted. "Keep moving." The shuttle twisted through the debris, narrowly avoiding falling pieces of metal. The aliens fired again, their beams slicing through the empty space where humans had been seconds before. The team's hearts pounded, but they did not falter. Humans were fast thinkers, and that made the difference. Inside the outpost, alarms blared. Scientists and engineers tried to save vital equipment, but the building shuddered with each alien strike. Lyra's mind raced. The Shadow Legion wasn't just trying to destroy the beacon, they were testing it. They wanted to know how far humans could go, how clever humans could be. They think this is simple, Lyra muttered. They don't understand humans at all. The shuttle dived closer to the outpost. Using the beacon signals, Lyra manipulated the alien ship sensors, creating false images of their shuttle in multiple locations. The alien ship fired blindly at shadows. Each missed shot filled the humans with a small, quiet thrill. Tarek grinned despite the fear. We're actually doing it. Juna shook her head, wide-eyed. But it's not enough. They'll figure it out soon. We have to act fast. Suddenly, another pulse hit the shuttle, knocking it off course. Alarm screamed. Lyra's hands flew over the console as she regained control. We're almost at the beacon. Hold on. The shuttle landed just outside the outpost. Lyra and her team jumped out, sprinting through the chaos to secure the device. The ground shook with each alien strike, and flames licked the edges of the building. But they moved quickly, driven by determination and fear. Inside the control room, Lyra accessed the main console. We can't let them take this, she said. She uploaded a countersignal, one that would confuse the alien fleet and give Earth's defenses more time. The lights flickered, and for a moment, everything went silent. Then the beacon pulsed, sending waves of energy through the void of space. Outside, the first alien ship faltered. Its precision shots went wide. The humans outside stared in disbelief as the ship struggled to recalibrate. Lyra smiled, breathing hard. They're learning that humans aren't easy prey. But there was no time to celebrate. From the shadows of space, more alien ships appeared, faster and more numerous than before. The Shadow Legion was relentless. The first strike had been only a test, a warning that humanity had barely survived. Lyra looked up at the stars, determination burning in her eyes. This is only the beginning. They want us afraid. But fear isn't a weakness for humans, it's fuel. And we are ready to fight smarter, faster, and harder. Back on Earth, General Kor monitored the battle. The human fleet scrambled to intercept alien reinforcements. The message from Lyra's lab was clear: humanity would not bow to fear. The beacon was ready, and humans were learning how to use it against the greatest threat the galaxy had ever sent. As the shuttle prepared to return to the lab for repairs, Lyra whispered to herself, almost like a promise. They came for me. They thought they could kill me, but we'll make them try harder. Above them, the alien ships hovered, strange black silhouettes against the bright stars. Somewhere deep in the void, the Shadow Legion paused, confused by the humans' unexpected resistance. They had underestimated Earth, and that mistake could cost them everything. The asteroid belt near Mars was quiet, almost eerily so. Jagged rocks floated in silence, drifting slowly in the dim sunlight. But Lyra Kane and her team knew that quiet meant nothing. Somewhere in the void, the Shadow Legion was tracking them, moving faster than any human ship could hope to keep up with. The shuttle hummed as it navigated the twisting paths of asteroids. Lyra's fingers flew over the console, constantly adjusting course. Behind her, Tarek gripped the side handles, white-knuckled. Juna checked the sensors for incoming alien ships. They're close, she said, voice tight. Their fleet isn't far behind. They're following our trail. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Good. That means they're predictable. If we can read them, we can control the chase. The Shadow Legion had attacked Earth to test humanity, and now the hunt was personal. Every human move they made was being observed, calculated, and countered. But humans were clever. They adapted. They learned. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the console. Multiple enemy ships were closing in fast. Lyra took a deep breath. Prepare evasive maneuvers. We're going to make them work for it. The shuttle swerved between massive asteroids, narrowly avoiding collisions. Lasers from alien ships streaked past them, slicing through empty space where the shuttle had been seconds before. Explosions erupted against distant rocks, sending shards flying in every direction. Hold on, Lyra shouted, twisting the shuttle sharply. She tapped a few keys on the console, activating a small countermeasure program she had built into the beacon. Small drones shot out, mimicking the shuttle's signals. The alien ships paused for a moment, scanning, unsure which signal was real. Tarek let out a breath. "It's working," he said. Juna shook her head, nervous. "They'll figure it out soon. We can't keep this up forever." Lyra didn't answer. She was focused on reading the patterns of the Shadow Legion's attacks. Each movement they made was precise, almost predictable if you could see the pattern. And Lyra saw it. The aliens were using logic, not imagination. They were strong, but they were not creative.
"Follow my lead," she said.
"We're going through the collapse field ahead. It's dangerous, but it'll slow them down." The collapse field was a cluster of massive asteroids, constantly breaking apart and rearranging. Navigation was nearly impossible, and one wrong move would crush the shuttle. But humans were daring, and Lyra had calculated the safest path. As they entered the field, rocks shifted and slammed into each other. The shuttle dodged just in time. Laser fire erupted around them, and the sound of energy weapons filled the cabin. Every second was a test of skill and nerve. Lyra guided the shuttle through the shifting maze. "Keep your eyes on the path, not on them," she said. "We survive if we trust our instincts and each other." The alien ship struggled in the collapse field. Their precise attacks became chaotic as they tried to track the shuttle. Lyra smiled. Humans were not the fastest. Humans were not the strongest. But humans were clever, and cleverness was their greatest weapon. Suddenly, a massive rock fell directly in their path. Lyra twisted the shuttle sharply. The rock passed, so close she could feel the heat radiating from it. "That was too close," Tarek gasped. "We don't have time to breathe," Lyra said. "We're almost at the other side. Keep going." They emerged from the collapse field, shaking but alive. Ahead of them, a small abandoned mining station offered temporary shelter. Lyra guided the shuttle inside, sealing the doors behind them. Juna exhaled. "We made it, but for how long?" Lyra leaned back in her seat, sweat dripping down her forehead. "Long enough to think. Long enough to plan. They're not just hunting us, they're testing humanity. Every move we make, every trick we use, teaches them that humans are dangerous in ways they didn't expect." Tarek frowned. "They're stronger.
Faster.
They could kill us in an instant. Are we really ready to face them?" Lyra's eyes burned with determination. "They might be stronger, but they're not human. They don't understand creativity, courage, or risk. That's our advantage. That's why we survive." As night fell over the asteroid belt, the team worked quickly. They repaired minor damages to the shuttle and analyzed the alien fleet's attack patterns. Lyra tapped into the beacon remotely, trying to predict where the Shadow Legion would strike next. "Lyra," Juna said, pointing to the sensors. "They're regrouping. More ships are on the way. They're preparing a trap." Lyra's lips pressed into a thin line. "A trap?
Good.
We'll be ready for it. They think they can predict humans, but they can't. Humans are full of surprises." Outside the mining station, the stars twinkled, serene and silent. But in the darkness, alien ships moved, fast and deadly. They were closing in, and the chase was far from over. Lyra turned to her team, determination in her eyes. "We've survived their first test. Now it's time to teach them that humans fight smarter, not just harder. The Shadow Legion thinks they know us. They're about to find out how wrong they are." Somewhere in the void, the alien fleet hesitated. The humans had escaped through impossible obstacles. The Shadow Legion had expected easy prey, but the humans had outsmarted them. For the first time, doubt flickered among the assassins. Lyra looked out into space, voice barely above a whisper. "They're coming for us, but they'll regret underestimating humanity." The shuttle hummed softly as it prepared for the next leg of the journey. The chase would continue, faster, deadlier, and more dangerous than before. But Lyra knew one thing. Humans survived because they refused to be predictable. And as long as she had her mind, her team, and the beacon, the Shadow Legion would never break them. Earth's defense fleets had been quietly preparing. Hidden deep inside the asteroid belt were experimental warships, equipped with weapons powered by Lyra Kane's quantum signal beacon. No alien had ever faced these ships before. Tonight, they would. Lyra and her team returned to the lab to analyze the alien movements. The Shadow Legion had not stopped. They were closing in fast, moving with deadly precision. But humans had one advantage: unpredictability. The aliens expected speed and power. They had not expected intelligence. "We can fight smarter, not just stronger," Lyra said. Her team leaned over the holographic display, mapping alien positions in real time. "If we coordinate the beacon with the fleet, we can create false signals, hide our ships, and strike when they least expect it." Tarek frowned. "But we're outnumbered. Hundreds of their ships. We have maybe 20. How is that enough?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Because they think humans are weak. That's the mistake they've always made." The first human ship launched, gliding silently through the shadow of an asteroid. Lyra controlled the beacon remotely, sending out pulses that scrambled alien sensors. The black ships of the Shadow Legion slowed, their pilots confused by signals that didn't match reality. "They can't see us," Juna shouted, her eyes wide as the holographic display showed alien ships firing blindly into empty space. Lyra's fingers danced across the console. "Keep them busy. Make them think we're everywhere at once." The alien fleet fired relentlessly, but their weapons missed repeatedly. Explosions rocked the distance, sending shards of rock flying, yet the humans maneuvered through the chaos with precision. Every pulse from the beacon created illusions, making the Shadow Legion unsure where the real targets were. In the midst of the battle, Lyra realized something terrifying. The aliens weren't just testing Earth, they were learning. Every move humans made, every trick they used was being studied. The Shadow Legion would adapt if given the chance. "We need to hit them fast," Lyra said. "We can't let them learn too much. Focus on the command ship. If we take it out, the rest will hesitate." A sleek human warship dove toward the alien command vessel, invisible thanks to the beacon's signal camouflage. The Shadow Legion fired blindly, beams streaking past the ship like angry comets. Lyra guided the ship, directing its movements with precise instructions. "Now," she shouted. The human ship fired a concentrated energy pulse, powered by the beacon. The pulse hit the alien command ship directly, sending a shockwave through the fleet. The black surface shimmered as shields strained against the attack. For a moment, silence filled the monitors. Then alarms erupted from the alien vessel. "They didn't expect that," Tarek said, his voice tight with excitement. "They didn't expect humans to fight like this." Lyra smiled grimly. "They never do." The Shadow Legion reacted immediately. Smaller ships broke off, moving to protect the command vessel. But humans had planned for this. Every pulse from the beacon created false copies of the warship, drawing the alien attacks away from the real fleet. Juna watched in awe. "They can't keep up. They're confused. We're actually winning." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "It's not about winning yet. It's about survival and sending a message. They need to understand that humans are clever, unpredictable, and dangerous in ways they didn't imagine." Above Earth, beams of energy crisscrossed the void as humans and aliens clashed. The Shadow Legion was relentless, but the human fleet used tactics no alien had considered. Ambushes, decoys, and sudden retreats kept the attackers off balance. The beacon was more than a weapon, it was a tool for strategy. In the midst of the battle, Lyra received a transmission from General Kor. "Dr. Kane, your actions are holding them off, but their fleet is large. Can you keep this up?" Lyra's fingers hovered over the console. "We can, and we will." The Shadow Legion underestimates humans. They think strength wins battles. We'll show them intelligence does. Suddenly, a new wave of alien ships appeared, faster and deadlier than the first. The humans braced for the attack, but Lyra had anticipated this. She activated a new function of the beacon, creating a massive energy distortion that made the alien sensors fail completely. The fleet surged forward, striking at the confused enemies. Ships fired precise pulses directly at the command vessel, while smaller teams ambushed the reinforcements. The Shadow Legion struggled to regroup, their formation breaking apart. For the first time in recorded history, humans had not only survived an attack by the Shadow Legion, they had fought them back, and on their terms. Lyra took a deep breath, watching the holographic display as alien ships scattered. "They're learning," she said quietly. "They'll be back, stronger. But we've sent a message they won't forget." Tarek grinned, exhaustion and exhilaration written across his face. "They came for us, and we fought them off. I can't believe we did it." Lyra shook her head. "They still have power. We can't relax. But yes, humanity has survived. And now the galaxy knows Earth will not bow to fear." Outside the lab, satellites and warships orbited Earth, gleaming in the sunlight. The Shadow Legion had been repelled for now. The humans had survived the first major battle and had proven that intelligence, creativity, and courage could overcome even the deadliest adversaries. Lyra's team worked through the night, repairing the shuttle and preparing the beacon for future attacks. Every member of the team knew that this was only the beginning. The Shadow Legion would return, but humanity had learned something vital. Survival was possible. Humans were not prey. They were opponents to be respected and feared. Lyra stared into the stars, her eyes burning with determination. "They came for us," she whispered. "They thought we were weak. But we showed them humans fight smarter. Humans fight harder. And they will never forget it." In the silence of space, the alien command fleet hesitated. The message from Earth was clear. Humanity was not to be underestimated. The Shadow Legion had faced their first defeat at human hands, and the galaxy had taken notice. And somewhere in the darkness of the void, the aliens knew one thing for certain. Earth would make them try harder. The aftermath of the first human strike against the Shadow Legion left the fleet in chaos. Alien ships limped back to a hidden sector of space, shields flickering, systems damaged. Lyra Kane and her team knew this pause was their chance. The humans had survived, but the truth behind the attack remained a mystery. Lyra turned to her team. "We need answers. Why are they targeting us? Why me?" Tarek frowned. "They're assassins, remember? They just kill. No explanation. That's what makes them terrifying." Lyra shook her head. "Not this time. Something about this feels different. We need to find the source, or they'll never stop coming." The team gathered aboard a stealth shuttle. Lyra navigated toward the remnants of the alien fleet, moving cautiously through the asteroid belt to avoid detection. Every sensor beeped, every shadow in space made the team tense. Humans were small, but humans were clever, and that cleverness was their shield. As they approached a crippled alien command ship, Lyra accessed the ship's exposed systems. The Shadow Legion had underestimated the humans once again. Their network was complex, but humans were unpredictable. Lyra's fingers danced across the console, hacking into encrypted alien channels. Suddenly, a face appeared on the holoscreen. Not fully alien, but not human either. The command ship's AI projected it. Lyra froze. "It's communicating with us?" she whispered. "Yes," the AI said in a distorted voice. "You are not the prey we expected." Lyra leaned forward. "Why target Earth? Why come after me?" The AI paused, almost as if considering. Then it revealed the truth. The Shadow Legion had been hired by a rogue faction of the Galactic Council, a secretive group worried about humanity's rapid technological growth. They feared that humans would become too powerful too fast. So they sent the most feared assassins in the galaxy to stop humanity before it could rise. Tarek blinked, disbelief clear in his eyes. "They hired them? We're being hunted because we're smart?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes." This wasn't personal. It was political. And it's bigger than just the Shadow Legion. We're at the center of something the galaxy doesn't want humans to succeed in. Juna's voice trembled. "So, everything, all the attacks, the pursuit, it was just a test." Lyra's eyes burned with determination. "Not just a test. A warning. But humans don't follow rules set by others. We survive. We adapt. And we fight back. That's what they didn't expect, and it's what will save us." The team worked quickly, uploading a virus into the alien command network. Their goal was simple: gather intelligence, and send a warning to the rest of the Shadow Legion. Humanity was not a target to be destroyed. They were an opponent to be respected. Lyra's fingers hovered over the final command key. "This message is simple," she said. "It's a challenge. A warning. They need to understand that humans are dangerous, clever, and unpredictable." "Ready." Her team nodded. Lyra pressed the key. Across the void of space, the message streamed into the Shadow Legion's network. "Try harder." The alien fleet paused, systems flickering as the words spread. No species in the galaxy had ever dared to speak directly to them like this. The message was bold, defiant, and intelligent, exactly what humans were known for. From her observation deck, Lyra watched the alien ships react. For the first time, hesitation appeared in their movements. They had expected fear. They had expected submission. Instead, they faced confidence, planning, and cunning. Humans were small, yes, but their minds were dangerous. Tarek exhaled, relief and pride mixing in his voice. They stopped. They're hesitating. Lyra shook her head. Not stopped. Learning. They'll be back stronger. But now they know something vital. Humans don't fight like other species. We think, we adapt, we survive, and we can strike back smarter than anyone expects. Juno leaned against the console, exhaustion written across her face. "So, what now?"
"We've revealed ourselves."
"They know we're not just easy prey." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Now, we prepare. The Shadow Legion will come again. And next time, they'll bring more. But we've sent the first warning. We've shown them that humanity doesn't cower." Outside the shuttle, stars glittered, silent witnesses to the battle of wits. Somewhere in the void, alien fleets discussed what they had encountered. One thing was clear: Earth was no longer a quiet, peaceful planet. Humans were awake, clever, and unpredictable, and they were dangerous in ways no one had fully understood. Lyra's team returned to Earth, carrying intelligence, repairs, and the knowledge that the first phase of this galactic conflict had ended. The Shadow Legion's attacks were a warning, but the humans had turned it into a lesson for both sides. In her lab, Lyra gazed at the stars. "They thought they could control us, scare us, eliminate us," she murmured. "But humans are not prey. We are opponents. And if they think one warning is enough, they're wrong. We will make them try harder every time they come for us." The quantum signal beacon hummed softly, a symbol of hope and defiance. The Shadow Legion may have been powerful, fast, and deadly, but they had underestimated humanity's greatest weapon: intelligence, courage, and determination. And somewhere far beyond Earth, the rogue faction of the Galactic Council took note. Humans had survived their test. They had struck back. And now, the galaxy would pay attention. This was more than survival. This was humanity announcing its presence in the stars. The void of space stretched endlessly, dark and silent. Somewhere between Earth and the scattered remnants of the Shadow Legion fleet, Dr. Lyra Kane sat at the helm of the quantum signal beacon. Her team had repaired the shuttle, analyzed alien movements, and prepared for what they all knew was coming: the final confrontation. "This is it," Lyra said, her voice steady but intense. "They've tested us, chased us, tried to destroy us. Now it's time we show them what humans are capable of." Tarek, sitting beside her, swallowed hard. "You really think we can do this? One human shuttle against their fleet?" Lyra turned to him, eyes burning with determination. "It's not just a shuttle. It's a symbol. Intelligence, creativity, courage. That's what they underestimated. That's what we have. And it's more powerful than any weapon." Juno checked the sensors. "They're approaching fast. Too fast. The Shadow Legion knows we're here, and they won't hesitate this time." Lyra's fingers danced over the console. The quantum signal beacon hummed and glowed, sending pulses of energy across space. Each pulse created interference in the alien fleet sensors, blinding them, confusing them, making them hesitate. Humans were small, yes, but their minds were lethal. From the observation deck, Lyra watched the alien ships move in formation, sleek and deadly. But something was different. They were cautious now. Their attacks were slower, measured. They had learned something. Humans were not prey. They were opponents. "Prepare the transmission," Lyra said. "This message is our final statement. It has to reach every ship, every officer, every mind in the Shadow Legion. Clear, direct, and unforgettable." Tarek nodded, tapping commands into the beacon. Juna monitored the alien fleet, watching as they adjusted course, trying to locate the source of the signal. The humans were invisible, hidden behind waves of energy and deception. Lyra took a deep breath. "Send it." Across the stars, the quantum signal beacon pulsed once, twice, then continuously. The message streamed through the alien network, penetrating shields, hacking into communication arrays, and reaching the eyes and ears of every Shadow Legion ship. The words were simple but devastating. "Try harder." For a moment, silence filled the void. The aliens froze, unsure how to respond. No species in the galaxy had ever dared to speak directly to them like this. It was bold, intelligent, and defiant. They stopped," Juna whispered. "They're confused." Lyra smiled faintly.
No.
"They're thinking. For the first time, they're realizing humans are not like other species. We survive, we adapt, we fight back smarter than anyone expects. That's why we exist." Outside, beams of light from alien ships wavered as they recalculated strategies. The humans' small fleet was invisible, scattered among the stars, yet every move they made now carried weight. The Shadow Legion's confidence had faltered. They had expected fear, submission, and death. Instead, they faced courage, intelligence, and challenge. Tarek exhaled, a mixture of relief and awe. "They didn't expect this, us humans. I can't believe it." Lyra shook her head. "They will learn to believe. One day, they will realize Earth is not a place to hunt, and humans are not prey. But for now, we've made our point. They know we will fight. They know we are clever. And they know that next time, we will be ready." A distant explosion reminded them that the Shadow Legion was still dangerous. Some ships had tried to advance, but they were blocked by carefully coordinated human maneuvers and the pulses of the beacon. Humans were small in number, yes, but precision, planning, and creativity had turned the tide. Juna's eyes were wide. "Do you think they'll come back?" Lyra looked into the darkness of space, calm but resolute. "They will. And when they do, they will find humans waiting. Not just fighting, but leading, thinking, and surviving. The Shadow Legion underestimated us once. They will not make the same mistake twice." In the control room, the beacon hummed steadily, its light pulsing like a heartbeat across the galaxy. The final message had been sent, clear and unwavering. Humans were no longer unknown. They were no longer considered weak. General Kor's voice came over the communication line, calm and proud. "Dr. Kane, humanity has sent its message. You have done well. The galaxy knows we exist. They know we are not afraid. The Shadow Legion will remember this." Lyra nodded, letting herself feel the moment. It was more than survival, it was victory. Not a final victory, not yet, but proof that humans could stand against the deadliest threats the galaxy could send. She turned to her team. "Remember this," she said softly. "Every step we take now, every strategy we create, every challenge we meet, this is what humans do. We survive. We fight smarter. And we never back down." Outside, the stars glittered in silent witness. The Shadow Legion, though powerful, had hesitated. They had underestimated humans, and that mistake would be remembered in the galaxy. Lyra whispered almost to herself, her eyes fixed on Earth far behind them. "They came for us. They tried to scare us, to destroy us. But we survived. We fought. And we sent the final message, try harder." The shuttle glided silently through the void, the quantum signal beacon pulsing with life. Somewhere beyond, the Shadow Legion calculated, observed, and learned. But one truth remained undeniable. Humanity had proven itself. Small, fragile, but brilliant and unstoppable in its own way. And in the quiet of space, Lyra and her team knew something profound. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had noticed. The Shadow Legion had learned. And humanity would rise, stronger, smarter, and ready for every challenge the stars could throw at them. The final message had been sent. And Earth would make them try harder every time.